So, by now a couple of people have actually asked me how I got into game development in the first place, and since I've got a headache today and nothing else prepared, why not just do a video on it? So, probably my earliest attempt at game development took place on an old Windows 98 laptop that my dad let me use periodically. Now, I couldn't work out how to connect it to the internet, and in retrospect I'm not sure that it was even possible to do so, since it was in pretty bad condition. However, I did still manage to somehow make little choose-your-own-adventure games in Windows Batch script. And these were really simple and mostly unfinished, since I just start a new one whenever I get bored, but it was, a fun way to pass the time as a 6 or 7-year-old or however old I was. But shortly after that, I found Macromedia Flash 2008, where I created a bunch of really bad games that basically only utilized buttons, since I couldn't quite work out how to use ActionScript at the time, so buttons were the only thing I really understood for some reason. I uploaded, I think, many of them to Newgrounds, and all of them got banned, or blammed. But I also uploaded a couple to Kongregate, which I guess is stuck there for all eternity. I don't know how to take stuff off Kongregate. I'm not really bothered about it, but yeah, it's just stuck there. One of them is on the account that I use currently, the Quongo account, and the other is on another account, which I can't actually be bothered to find right now. But anyway, after doing all this stuff when I was a very young little boy, I got kind of demotivated with making games, probably on account of having my stuff blammed from Newgrounds several times, and I resigned to just playing them a bunch, and I thought I'd become a physicist, since that seemed a bit more dignified and grown up than being a game developer. And over the next few years I began to want to become a software engineer instead, since physics became really quite tedious at that level of school, and I really enjoyed programming. And at some point a couple of years ago, I was a bit unhappy about the fact that I wasn't able to do anything creative, really. And I took a bit of thought, and I decided that being dignified and grown up as I wanted to be as a physicist, it's not actually very useful or cool or fun, and it's actually way more fun to say, to heck with that, and do what you want, which is, in this case, to become a game developer. So this happened in about 2016, I think, when I wanted to get into game development, and about the same time, I also made the decision that I wanted to be specifically an indie developer. I didn't really want to work at a big company, because that's really no different to being a software engineer in the first place at times. I mean, it's just the type of thing you're programming. The lack of creativity is the issue here. And both of these decisions were helped and inspired in no small part by my friend Magos, who made similarly tough decisions at around this time, although his circumstances were noticeably different. But anyway, I did a little bit of digging around, and I found the Phaser framework for HTML5 games. And at this point, I was extremely bad at anything that pretty much wasn't programming. And even looking at my own code around this time, yikes, it wasn't good. But I did it anyway, and I made a few unfinished games with my boyfriend, who contributed the art assets, since he's a proper real artist boy, and then I realized I'm a terrible teammate, and I stopped doing that pretty quickly. Now, the only problem with Phaser is that it's not actually easy to make standalone executables with it, so this means that distributing on proper marketplaces like Steam becomes quite difficult. And at this point I had no hope of actually distributing on Steam, of course. This was around when Greenlight was a thing, and even the best moments of my games were not very good. So I wanted to try to learn a proper visual editor like Unity, although I had my doubts about how intuitive it might be, and the learning curve made me kind of hesitant. But at some point I just bit the bullet and spent like 3 or 4 days trying to learn Unity. However, Unity on Linux is absolute garbage, so I decided, fuck that, I'll just use Godot instead. And on Godot I made I initially made some pretty bad small projects, and some less bad small projects, some kind of okay medium-sized projects, and now I'm here making a, in my opinion, pretty cool medium project. And as superficial as this description has been, that's pretty much all I've got so far. I don't really think I'm into game development. I've not really got a product or a finished product I consider a proper attempt at a game. Masochist is the closest contender, but since that game does have so many issues and silly things that I would change about it now, I definitely don't consider it representative of my real abilities. Anyway, thanks for watching, and feel free to let me know in the comments about what kind of things got you into game dev, like inspirations or whatever. I'm interested in that kind of thing. Stay tuned for more videos about my games and things related to my games. Goodbye.